unmanned aerial vehicle manufacturer Idea Forge has been raising capital, both debt and equity, as it looks to service its large order book, with the most recent contract worth $20 million coming in from the Indian Armed Forces. The company today announced that it has raised rupees 15 crore of debt from alternative credit platform Black Soil, and in fact it had earlier raised $2 million of debt from Union Bank in January. In February, IT major Infosys announced it would invest an additional $1 million into Idea Forge, over and above the $1.5 million it had invested in the company in 2016. Well, we have with us Idea Forge CEO Ankit Mehta to talk about these developments. Ankit, welcome on the show. You've said that the company will be using this debt funding for your working capital requirements to service your large order book. And of course, we talked about the $20 million deal from the Indian Army for the Switch UAVs. Tell us a little bit about the product, about this contract, and what the timelines are.
So this particular contract was something that it emerged after the incident that happened at our northern border at the Galwan location. And because of that, the Indian Army wanted to quickly procure eyes that could ensure that we have an early warning of any movement in those parts. And therefore, they initiated a procurement via the Army Design Bureau, which led this effort, and wanted to procure systems that could service in any environmental condition, especially prevalent at those heights and at those temperatures, and be able to do meaningful surveillance in those locations. And with that, they went in for an emergency procurement as per the financial powers that were given to them at that time, as well as look at bolstering our capability to service those areas and make sure that we are not getting into those scenarios again. With that, they concluded in a very fast-track process and placed an order on us to be able to deliver these systems to them within this calendar year.
Okay, so within this calendar year, and you did mention Galwan, and I want to ask you, since the situation at the border has been heightened over the past several months, what is the order looking like for you? What is the order book now? What are some of the products that are seeing the strongest demand?
So while we have this opportunity, which definitely as an ecosystem in the drone industry today overshadows whatever efforts had been put in the past. But apart from that, there is, of course, a lot of interest in looking at surveillance technologies, because what we noticed was we had no eyes on what was happening, and we need to get those eyes post-haste. However, apart from that, there is this large scheme that the government of India is working with, which is the Swamitwa scheme, wherein the government is looking to map the entire rural villages in the country using drones, making very, very high accuracy and high resolution maps using drones, which will then be converted into property cards for rural population, and will ensure that they can participate in mainstream economic activity using our banking systems and have the means of being able to collateralize their assets and deploy them for their economic benefit. So that's the other area which is picked up tremendous amount of steam. Apart from that, what we learned from the COVID scenario is that when COVID happened, there was this huge need for being able to look into the containment zones that we have created and be able to look at what activities going on, whether the measures that we are taking are effective at all or not. And therefore, a lot of drone usage had come up, and even DGCA had given exemptions for operations for COVID management using their Garud platform. With that, there is this huge
I think, Ankit, you've covered the different sectors where drones really will be helpful, and they really are in demand. And in fact, at the recent Aero India show, drones really were the star attractions. You yourself also launched the V4 UAV, and in fact, big players such as the Kalyani Group have also entered the space. They also showcased their drones. So are you seeing a lot more competition now in the drone space, especially from the big players?
So competition has been there time and again, and I think the only way that one can continue to service the customer is by continuously being innovative, continuously making sure that what you have to offer and deliver is more innovative, more capable. So we continue to press on technology, and competition has been there not just from the larger players, but there are a large number of startups who have invested so much time and energy in this space to build technology in India, because India is a very unique location to create this technology at, because we literally have the world's highest location with the most extreme temperature, with the deserts going to plus 55 ground temperatures to the negative 30, 40 degrees that we experience in the highest battlefield in the world. So, India just has that advantage that nobody else
But
has.
Ankit,
40 meters. Yeah.
Absolutely, and you did mention that there is a lot of competition, a lot of startups working in this space. You see about 70% of your revenue still coming from the defense sector. What are your plans in the commercial and the enterprise space? Do you see that growing as well for you, especially, with the new policies, especially for geospatial data and the digital sky policy, enabling more opportunities in this space?
Absolutely. With the qualification of our platforms by the Survey of India for using in mapping, and that accuracy of mapping, which eventually is something which is legally defensible, we believe that our own entry into that space is going to be significant, and being qualified by our Surveyor General itself helps in establishing that credibility. At the same time, what we believe is that the enterprise sector has a lot of velocity, a lot of speed in which deals happen, closures happen, and with the opening up of the airspace, we do expect that this segment is going to grow very, very fast and is going to become a significant part of our order book in the future.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing those details and joining us right here on Startup Street.